Hey, everybody, welcome to the Jimmy Dore Show. I'm here with Mark Van Landwood and the Miserable Liberal.
Hey, Jimmy.
Greetings, everybody.
Hi, thanks for coming on the show. Good, we always, I get a little overwhelmed. All the news seems to be negative. The Democrats will keep letting you down, keep sticking a shiv into the progressives. There's no representation in our government for people like us. And then, I live in California. We have Gavin Newsom, and look what Gavin Newsom. California
Hooray.
to flex drug purchasing power. New Governor Gavin Newsom announces health policy changes, including coverage for undocumented adults. Huh. That's from the Wall Street Journal. Here he is right there. There's Gavin Newsom. That's my governor. Today, public and private purchasers of prescription drugs are left to negotiate drug prices on their own. This act will make California the largest single purchaser of prescription drugs and will one day allow every Californian to join with the state to negotiate drug prices.
Well, that's pretty remarkable. Jimmy, you just went and got a prescription yesterday, and you couldn't believe how much it cost.
So it cost me $280. I went and pick up just a couple of prescriptions, by the way, that used to be covered under my insurance. They don't cover them anymore. So I take this thing called calcitrol. I take Vertfos 250 neutral and something else, and I had to pay for out-of-pocket all of them, even though I have health insurance. And I have the best health insurance you could purchase. And still, here I am spending almost $300 just in one trip. And just for it sucks. So I don't.
And it did, because what I was also considering was the idea that most Americans are $400 away from.
Right, they can't afford a $400 emergency, and here they would be like, "Oh my God, almost all my money's gone." So here's what he says: this executive order will allow California to use our market power and our moral power to demand fairer prices for prescription drugs. Instead of facing price gouging drug companies alone, all Californians will take them on together. The power of many is greater than the power of money. So he's doing that by executive order. Did you know about this, Mark?
I did.
Mark is the vice chair of the Progressive Caucus in California.
Yes. And in that role, I'm going to tell you that this is happening from California to New York, where Bill de Blasio, Mayor de Blasio, now has a quasi-universal healthcare program for all New York City residents.
You mean like they have in San Francisco?
Like they have in San Francisco. So it's the progressive movement that's putting the pressure on politicians to make this happen. So in New York, the progressives took over the New York State Senate. They pushed out all of the dirty money Dems that were there, the incumbents, and they won. And in California, the Progressive Caucus, the people inside the party, the progressive movement in the streets, they've been putting the pressure on for single payer and making healthcare the number one issue for these politicians to answer for. And so this is a testament to the California Nurses Association,
yes,
to Progressive Caucus in the California Democratic Party, and to all the grassroots activists who have been fighting for healthcare for all of us. And so people, this is how you do it. You pressure politicians. Power concedes nothing without a demand. We got to make our demands known. And that's why you have people like de Blasio and Gavin Newsom going along with our, making legislation out of these demands.
So this is a big deal. Here's from the LA Times. It says the new governor sent a letter to Congress and the White House asking for changes to federal laws so that the state can have the regulatory freedom to overhaul California's healthcare system and move towards single payer.
Oh my God. How big would that be for our for the state
amazing.
of California? Oh my gosh.
His announcement on Monday stopped short of the single-payer system demanded by activists that would cover all residents' health care costs, but was characterized as the first step down that path. Californians would be the first state to cover California would be the first state to cover immigrants without legal status who are younger than 26 years old through Medi-Cal, the state's health program for people with low incomes. California already covers undocumented children until they turn 19, with Newsom's plan increasing that age cutoff to mirror that of the Affordable Care Act, which allows young adults to stay on a parent's health insurance plan until turning 26. Newsom's proposal would also create an individual mandate in California to thwart. Now, this is what I want you to really hear, too. So the first part is good. So he's gonna. So Mark, do you understand the ins and outs of that yet, or is it still too early?
It's a little too early.
So how are we all going to be in what he's gonna the state will buy all the drugs that the state needs?
All right, I'm going to slow your roll about what Gavin just proposed a little bit here.
Okay.
So what is required and why it's fairly safe for Gavin to propose this? It's going to require federal waivers for the Medicaid and Medicare funding that the federal government does for California. So he would have to get those waivers from Donald Trump.
And he's not going to get them.
He's not going to get those. So this is why we got to keep an eye on him and make sure that he follows through when we have someone like a Bernie Sanders in presidents or when Democrats take over. So we got to make sure that Gavin follows through on this. Right now, it's safe to do this big proposal, but we got to make sure that he follows through.
So there, but the proposal for this cheaper pharmaceutical drugs, he doesn't need a waiver from Trump to do that.
No.
So he's actually doing that.
So in the ACA, it's
Yes.
illegal to negotiate for the government to negotiate for lower drug
Really?
prices. Yeah. In terms of California, yeah, we should be able to flex our muscle. We're the biggest purchaser of these pharmaceuticals.
So I don't understand how that would work. So the government of California would buy all our drugs, and then we could somehow buy them from them, or we could somehow get in. Do you know? If you
I don't know.
Okay,
I
so,
honestly don't know.
Me neither. But here, so now he talks about that he would also reinstitute financial penalties if you don't buy health care. So that's that individual mandate that Trump got rid of. So the effect of Trump getting rid of, so that mandate means you have to buy health insurance. So the effect of them getting rid of that, Trump getting rid of it, is that your health insurance and policies are now going to go up because that takes that money out of the pool. So now, and those are usually young, healthy people, that money's out of the pool. So now your insurance premium, so Trump just did something that's going to raise your health care costs, not lower it and not give you more coverage. He's just hurting you, and he's doing that at the behest of health insurance companies. So the requirement that can so just think about that. Trump did that, got rid of that requirement, and made your health insurance policies more expensive. And that's what they're talking about here. The requirement that consumers have health insurance or face financial penalties propped up the Affordable Care Act, or Obamacare, and its elimination is expected to drive up premiums. Without the individual mandate, all consumers will experience rate increases this year, said officials for Covered California, the state's official health insurance marketplace. So that's good news. Gavin is going to, try to get down drug prices by executive order. So we got to look more into this, but that's good. That's good. He's flexing. Well, as I like how the Wall Street Journal put it, that he's flexing California to flex drug purchasing power. And he also created a Surgeon General, a California Surgeon General, through the executive order. So this is really good news.
Come on, Gavin. Let's get this done.
Let's get this done.
California needs it. California families are suffering without health care. We got 3 million Californians suffering without health care, 700,000 of which are children.
Wow.
Come on.
So if you remember what happened last time, they passed the Senate bill. Kevin De Leon sponsored a Senate bill that would get Medicare for all for everybody in California. And then it went to the House, and Rendon, Anthony Rendon or Rendon, is the speaker or the assembly leader, and he's a Democrat, and he killed that bill because he's in the pocket of the health insurance company. The guy, the chairman of the Democratic Party, what's his name?
Eric Bauman.
Eric Bauman was a pharmaceutical lobbyist. So the Democratic Party's corrupt here. Let's hope this is a good faith move by Gavin Newsom.
That's why everyone needs to go to adems.vote if you're in California, and we need to vote the bastards out. We need to make sure we have progressives inside the party pushing our politicians to do the right thing.
So you can go. It's happening this month, 2 weekends this month. You can go and vote for the Democratic delegates to the party in California. And we did that 2 years ago, and we thought we took over the party. We came very close, but now it can happen. And so if you are a Democrat, or even if you're not, you can show up, register that day, vote for a progressive slate of delegates to the Democratic Party in California, and then we could maybe see some real change here in California, because we're a super majority Democrat state, so we got to get that Democratic Party to be progressive. So it's 2 weekends this month. It's called the ADEMS. ADEMS. If you go to adems.vote, it'll tell you what district you live in and where you go to vote. And it's kind of a secret election the Democratic corporatists don't want you to know about. So if you're a progressive and you want to take over that party, this is the time to do it. That's the vice chair telling you to do it. Go to adems.vote. Our next live show is a stand-up show we're doing Thursday, January 24th in Hollywood at the Sycamore Tavern. $10 tickets Thursday, January 24th. Go to jimmydorcomedy.com for a link for all of our live shows and to find out when our live Jimmy Dore shows come into your town. Plus, if you can, become a patron. We give you hours of bonus material every week. And remember to make sure you're subscribed. They unsubscribe people. You make sure you subscribe. Click the bell so they send you a notice when we drop a video. Thanks for your support.